Hello there, and welcome back to TerraFirmaCraft HardRock. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I want to have that thing up and running by the time we're done with today's episode. And so I was just planning out what we need for today. I'm going to want to definitely make a toolbox for Create, because then I can put all the Create stuff in there instead of in here, because this is getting messy. So we'll make that in a minute. I did check out the Blaze Burner. This is actually quite cheap, relatively. 8 iron ingots total and a piece of netherrack. We will have to go to the nether before we can get that. So, back burner for now. What we need though in order to make the Create belts is this vulcanized rubber. To get that we need sulfur and latex. And it doesn't tell you, well, you can't click on it to see how you get latex. But if you press shift, it does explain that you need to plant rubber with trees, place a tree tap against the tree, and then a bucket for the latex to gather in. And when the bucket is full, that's enough to make 1 latex. And you can collect 10 latex per tree. So I have 1 rubber wood sapling. We're going to plant that. Ah, right. It needs vanilla dirt. Okay. Let's swap these out. Yep, okay. And now these will grow like vanilla trees, not like the dynamic trees. So these are actually very useful. You can make a Create powered tree farm using the rubberwood saplings. If we grab, I'm not gonna do it now, but if we grab our mechanical saw, you can put it up against a tree. You could have a deployer so that when the tree grows, you can chop it down with the mechanical saw, have the contents get output from the saw into a chest or whatnot, and have a deployer drop down a new sapling. So you make an automatic tree farm that way. So we might actually be able to bone meal that also, since it is acts like a vanilla tree. Well, that didn't take long. And then we need a tree tap right here, and this can be made with copper, iron, or andesite alloy. That's very convenient. So I'm going to, here's the other question. Can I use a wooden bucket on the tree, or do I need to use a iron bucket? Well, let me make the tap and then we'll be back and find out. Okay, that tap was very easy to make. Put that there. Okay, it does not look like I can put a wooden bucket attached to it. Okay, I'm having trouble putting any bucket attached to it. Okay, I found the problem. It's not a bucket, comma, for latex. It's a bucket for latex. It's the name of the actual item. So now we have this. We should be able to attach it to the tree and start collecting the latex. There we go. Now this will collect the latex over time. You saw already had 2. Now it's got 46. When it hits 1,000, that's 1 latex. You can get a total of 10 latex per tree. So yeah, that's going to run for a little bit. We need to get sulfur. And then I'm going to need to adjust my setup a little bit. So we need to put a basin and the mixer over our charcoal forge. I might as well just make a secondary forge because I don't want to move my blast furnace and everything, so I'll probably just do that. As for the sulfur, one of the latest updates has made it so that black sand, when washed in the sluices or in the sifter, will yield sulfur, from black sand. So I'm actually been collecting a little bit of black sand here. I've also been collecting some magnetite. So the magnetite we gathered a while back to make compasses, we can actually just use that for iron and use this for the compasses. But we've got a bit of sulfur, so I can go crush this down. And that will take care of the sulfur that we need for the latex in order to make the vulcanized rubber, which we then need to make a belt. And then we'll finally be able to get the output from this coming out from here. And I have just about everything else. I have the copper block, or block of copper that we need for the steam engine. I got a bucket here so we can make an infinite water source. We got tanks for water. I will need a way to generate the first power to get the pump going for the steam engine, to provide water to the tank to get the steam engine going. You'll see what I mean. I also need to see how I'm going to power this. So in serious TerraFirmaCraft, you could put lava underneath the tanks, these fluid tanks, and it provides passive heat. I haven't tested that in this version. And the other option would be some sort of heat source, blaze burner, or I think that's about it because, well, I took this apart. The latex fills up pretty fast. I've already got 7 from this one tree, so it's almost done. Once that's done, well, I did go and sift a bit more, so I've got 2 more rubberwood saplings. They'll grow. We'll have more options for latex. What I want to do now is figure out where I put everything. Okay. I took apart the power system back here, only to realize I need the power system in order to get this running. So, I gotta redesign this. I need to see if I can use lava as a passive power source. In Create, if you do lava on the ground like this, it will produce, with one steam engine, just the base 2,000 stress units at a time. I'm reusing stuff, and now I've got to figure out how I want it done. Okay, well, let's turn this to a steam engine there. So that's the basic steam engine. Can't rotate it. Attaches there. And then we need a shaft to go there. Ah, right, okay. That's too far. So we want this all moved over by 1. This should work, although I think this needs to be 1 more taller. So I need to make more copper in order to do that. I also need to make the create goggles right here, which requires gold wire, glass panes, leather strips, and some wool. Leather I can do, glass I can do. Gold I need to make a little more, and I also need to make a little more copper. And I just barely have enough copper to do this. So, alright. We'll melt that down. Do I have... No, I don't have any gold. Oh, well, I have gold. I don't have any gold already in ingot form or anything aside from that, which I'm going to need for... Might as well make it right now. I want to not keep losing my items. Okay, we need leather, lumber, and a small cog. Right. Okay, and we need those. So we're going to make a chest, 2 gold sheets, piece of leather cog. That gives us a toolbox from Create. These are pretty neat. You can store a whole ton of Create stuff in it. And by pressing Alt, you can access any nearby toolboxes and just grab the items out that you want. So we can toss our pipes in there. We can toss our cogwheels. And it's not just Create. In my last TerraFirmaCraft series, I also tossed in pretty much... they hold multiple stacks. Oh, okay. Shift and... What was that? No, just right click to pick it up instantly. No need to shift, no need to use a inventory, a pick or anything to pick it up. But I want to check. In serious TerraFirmaCraft, you could hold multiple stacks of an item in here at a time. Let's grab 3 stacks of sand. Yes. Can hold up to 4 stacks of an item. So that is useful for also transporting stuff around. So if I really wanted to go out mining or when we set up the mine, the drill, we can have the items in the drill be deposited into a tool chest here and be able to transport 8 times 4 stacks of different items. I'm going to make up 1 ingot of gold. I'm going to make up the 1 ingot of copper. I need to make 1 more copper tank. That's pretty easy. Make the gold wire. Make a little more leather strips. We'll make the goggles so we can actually see what we're doing. And then we'll be able to make the latex to make the mechanical belt. We will then be able to tear down our power system over here, provided this is working. It's not big enough yet to actually start working, so I don't know if it's working. Water is flowing through, so this is getting water. And then, yeah, make the latex, make everything, then we can go take the drill out and actually start mining without having to go down in the ground to mine. Okay, do that, gives us our tank. Run over here. Figure out how in the world I'm going to get up there. There we go, that should help recover some health. Then I need to take one of these, toss it back in. Alright, we got the gold wire, we got everything else. Let's go make our goggles. Nice. Now press G. Stick those there. Now we've got our create goggles that we can wear. Which means we could look at create contraptions and see a lot more information, like how many stress units they're getting, what their fluid capacity is. We can see how, well, we can't see how fast stuff is spinning, but we can see how much energy it's producing. It's like 128 stress units. That's actually pretty good, though it's spinning very slow. This says, well, it doesn't have enough water, because I picked up that. It's not going fast enough. Okay, I need to move this. It's not going to work here. Okay, so it's still not spinning fast enough. Can I get this to spin a bit faster than 8 without breaking? We can do 12. So we can use lava as a passive fuel source. This gets the bare minimum out of the steam engine, provided I can fix this so that we have multiple water sources. I think if I move this over by 1, it might be better. There we go. Fixed the issue. It was, of course, a dumb one. I accidentally clicked this with my wrench, which stopped it from transporting water, and so the engine stopped receiving water. That's still going to be an issue. Okay, but at least for now, we do have a working setup. Okay, in case it's not clear what's going wrong here, we have a single water source right there. That water source is being picked up by the pipe. And so therefore the water source is disappearing. What I need to do, this is going to be temporary, but temporary is better than nothing. Move that there, and that should allow that to become an infinite water source. to always be replenished when it gets picked up. So now this will always run. Nice. Okay. It's a very, very bad setup, but it works for now. Which means that all of these should work. Would really help if I had this as the right type of gearbox. There we go. So now I disconnected this because that takes a lot of stress. That's not hooked up, takes a lot of stress. These don't take much stress. But that means this is working. Not rotating with enough speed. So we're going to have to speed this up in order for the mixer to work. And that's what we need to make the latex work. So that's the next task. Get the latex, get this sped up. We can do that by shifting, not close enough. There we go. By doing some gear ratio stuff. And then that will work. We can heat this forge up, make the latex, and then see what we need to do next. We're going to go from a large cog to a small cog. And is that going to be fast enough? That will be fast enough. Okay. It's extremely ugly, but I'm going to have to redesign this whole thing. Since the initial setup I did wasn't working the way I thought, it's a mess. So I'm going to need to replan everything out, find a nice way of doing it, and that's going to be a future task. But now that's working, so let's grab our latex and our sulfur. That's all I need, right? 1 sulfur, 1 latex, over heat, 1100. And this burns at 1300, so let's grab 2 of these. Grab our flint and steel. Put a torch down so you guys can actually see what I'm doing for a change. Toss those in there. Light myself on fire. And then one of those, one of those. And once this gets heated up, you know, I can just toss all them in, I think. Yeah. And once this gets up to temperature, this will automatically start spinning and we will have our vulcanized rubber. There we go. And I didn't even use both coal. So that's our vulcanized rubber. After this now, we need to apply dried kelp. Oh, so 2 dried kelp and 1 vulcanized rubber on 1 rubber to make a mechanical belt. We really only need... Do we need 1 or 2 belts? I think we only really need 1 belt. But having multiple belts really isn't going to be an issue. It just means that we have redundancy. So if we go back over here... I did not mean to do that. Put that there. Put that there. Nope. And that's 1 belt. That's 2 belts. Okay. So, this means we now have power. I don't know if this is going to be enough to power the drill, but we can pick up this system for now temporarily, take it with our drill, set it up again, and try running the drill to gather resources. That works. Build a second steam engine, second boiler, all that, and we'll make probably a second toolbox and just have 1 toolbox for carrying around the drill and all the bits and bobs that we need for the drill, the steam engine, all that. Portable drill. A little less portable than this drill, but you get the idea. I think I have just about everything I need. What I want to do first is take 4 wool cloth and weave them together to make a wool block. And actually, you make 8 of them. So what I can do next with these wool blocks, 1 wool block with a shear will give me wool roll. And then we can use this wool roll to apply to a windmill frame in order to make a sail. And this is much more efficient than the other way, which is to use a full wool sheet on a frame. Doing this way with the wool roll, 4 sheets of wool will allow you to make, what is it, 8 times 4, 32? Yeah, 32 sails. Whereas if you just use a wool sheet, it's a 1-to-1. So always go with the wool roll method because it's so much better. Okay, and then what we do is we put these down and click them on. And now we have our sails. The reason I'm doing this, that's only 8. Don't we need 16? I'm fairly certain I need 16. All right, and so what the plan is we are going to use the create windmill to power the rotation to provide water to our boiler, since I have everything I need for the steam engine in here. And we're going to see if just using lava as a fuel source will produce enough stress units to get the drill to work. I'm not sure it will, so we're going to find that out. Okay, we have a copper deposit over here, so this is where we're going to be trying to build the drill. And by the way, in the quest book, it mentioned needing a drill head for it. Let's see if I can find it. Yeah, it mentioned a drill head, geologist or vein finder. I might need to make that. All right, well, we'll try this anyway. We need the drill head for the drill to work. So that's what that's for. We have our power input there. That's going to be our steam engine. All right, so that provides it with heat. That provides it with the steam engine. Now what I need to do is grab some water. We're going to make our pumps again. Okay, so we've got a windmill going very slowly. 400 stress units, but very low biome and height efficiency. So that's what I meant about having the picky windmills and picky water wheels mod, is we're losing so we have 0.75% efficiency from the biome, and then less than half efficiency from just over half efficiency from the height. So if we built that taller, it'd run faster, but I just needed to pump these, and that's not pumping fast enough. Okay, well, the obvious answer is I'm going to need to go make some more shafts and just build this up a bit taller, since this is not gonna cut it. All right, I've made quite a few more, and I've even set up a gear shift down there, so this should hopefully work. There we go. Now it's got a height efficiency of 1, and a biome efficiency is still 0.75, so it's at least spinning much faster. It's still not spinning fast enough. After a couple gear shifts, it's now pumping enough water in to get the boiler running. Unfortunately, the drill's not detecting anything in the chunk, and the steam engine is not going fast enough anyway. So I'm going to need to speed it up, but I'm also going to need to craft the, what is it called? The geologist or vein finder in order to even find what we're looking for. So we need a raw iron pickaxe head, a stick, and a brass mechanism. Found in chunks, nothing nearby, nothing, trace of nothing. these are not using the TerraFirmaCraft. See, I found deep water. Resources. So over here is my copper vein, or my copper mine, which has collapsed on me. That was fun. It's a mess down there. But yeah, it's not detecting any ore, so yeah, that drill does not detect the ore in the same way that it's generated in the world. So it might assign, you know, hey, this chunk has this ore, but it's not. It doesn't appear to work the same way that you mine down and you can actually find the same ore. Or I can't pop that down on top of something and get it to extract the ore that's from TerraFirmaCraft that's in the ground. Right over here, there's a zinc. I have a zinc mine down there. Okay. I know that one. I want to say it's nickel. Okay, so the good news is we got the drill to work. The bad news is it's not on top of a vein, so we're not actually getting anything. We do also have to speed up the rotation, which I can do with cogs. So that's not too much of an issue. So proof of concept, this will work. We just need to actually find something to mine with it. But I think it's going to be it for today. This will work once I find a good spot for it. Proof of concept, it looks like we just need lava. We don't need a blaze burner. Blaze burner will provide it much more power. Will run much better, but passively this looks like it'll work. And we don't have to build the sail all that high in order to get enough power for the pumps to work. So this can work. We just gotta find a place we can actually put it. But until then, thank you for joining me today. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. Later.